Okay, the packages arrived yesterday, including the um, cables and the HPA adapter. Um, I uprooted the um, RAID controller and plugged in the HPA controller. Um, Everything popped right in. Rebuilt the array. Um, a little bit sad that I lost some potential storage space, but um, it's six of one, half dozen of the other. So I switched from doing what is essentially RAID 5 to RAID 6. So it's slightly more resilient, but I have less than the 200 terabytes of space that I was aiming for. So um, yeah, the HBA card plugged in worked just fine. No issues there. No hiccups. And started moving data back over. As we expected, speeds are about the same. Was watching some more videos, and there may be some tweaks that I can make to bring in some more write performance, but I honestly think it's not going to be, the biggest deal in the world. I've got the fans just about tamed. I need to go through and do a little bit more tweaking on that, but overall, not bad. One of the things I did notice, though, is that it seems like the truenas software is grabbing the wrong temperature probe from the CPU. So it's actually reporting a lot higher than it really is. Because I was going back and I was looking in the BIOS, and I'm like, I remember there was a thing with the original Zen processors that there was like a T die and a T max or something along those lines. There were two different readings, and one of them reads higher than the other. And in reality, your core temperature itself is actually lower. So, with that said, got most things up and cooking. Was able to let's bring this up over here. Scene 2, yeah. So was able to come in, and in the plugins, I finally got some of these plugins working, and the key. Let's see if I can do this on the fly. If I do install, yeah. So the key was turning off DHCP and turning on NAT. And then plugging in the correct interface for it. So I've got, if we come over to networking and we go to interfaces, I've got the Intel NIC, the onboard Intel NIC that I'm not using. And so what was happening was this guy was DHCP and this guy was DHCP, and it was still defaulting to the Intel network adapter. And so that was causing a lot of issues in trying to get these plugins and jails working. So I was able to get the Plex server up and running. That is cooking with gas now. Plex is still a little weird. I haven't used it much in the past, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that all works. but got that up and going. And then the other one that I'm messing around with is, if we go to plugins, is this Nextcloud. And so what I'm thinking, the goal of this program is you can create your own, cloud storage server and then be able to access that from wherever. And that's a really, really cool thought process for me. Being able to plug in, take your laptop somewhere and still have access to a cloud storage device, which is your internal storage server. And that would just be really awesome. So again, just kind of messing around with that, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do there. And then one of the other ones that came up was this question, and it's going to take a lot of thought process and understanding on my part. But there was a question from somebody was, hey, you got all this storage, could you host data? And it's like, I probably could, but I don't know how. So, because they were talking about video files for an organization and, almost making like a quasi YouTube or, I'm trying to come up with the one that everybody uses. No, I don't have it. But anyway, those video hosting sites. And so I was looking into it, and I've got a domain already. And the question is, how do you set that up? And so this is, again, it's a fun thought process. So I'm interested in seeing how it pans out. Not necessarily going to do it, but it's a cool thought process. So one of the things that I would do is, slice off, maybe 10 terabytes and set that aside for that organization and say, hey, all right, you can store a bazillion 1080p videos here on this site. And then, we can go from there. But I think the key thing here is that in the span of a week, we have gotten the server put together, installed RAID, so got the RAID setup done and, powered through that, plugged in the HBA, took all of the learnings that we had from the RAID card and got the HBA system up and running. And in the end, we have a fully functional storage server of a raw capacity of 256 terabytes. So yeah, I was looking around on the internet, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of other people doing this. So maybe on our data hoarders or something, but it seems like, at least on YouTube, when I was Googling this, I didn't see a lot of these types of posts. So hopefully I can get this out there, and maybe somebody else who's following in my steps later on can, get some useful information. So anyway, that's been the initial thought process here, and I'll sign off.